It was literally the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. Everything changed. Everything completely changed after making that decision. This is episode 1. I've always had a problem with anger ever since I was a kid. My mum even told me a story about me punching the shit out of my teddy bears when I was like 1. To be honest with you, I don't really know where it comes from. My father had a bit of a problem with anger when he was younger. He kind of grew out of it. My grandfather had a serious problem with anger when he was younger and killed himself. I feel like the anger that I experience is derived from pain, but I'm not sure where that pain comes from. My way of dealing with things when I was younger was to fight. I live on the Gold Coast and I remember walking through Surfers Paradise. I'd had a few drinks. I just literally walked the streets until I found someone that looked at me the wrong way or just looked at me, and I would, start a fight. Basically. The point of this video is to talk about some of the things that I've done in my life to help me overcome that anger. Now, don't get me wrong, I am still working on it. I'm just letting you know some of the things that I've done in my life that have helped me. I remember admitting to myself that I was emotional and sensitive, very susceptible to outside influences. It was hard for me to actually accept that because I always thought I was Mr. Tough Guy. Really, it was just coming from a place of pain. I didn't expect that to be the reason why I was so angry. Yeah, learning that kind of threw me a bit. The biggest thing that I've done in my life to help gain control over my emotions, I quit alcohol just over 8 years ago, and it was literally the best decision I've ever made in my life. I realized that alcohol was one of the main causes for the biggest problems that were happening in my life at the time. I didn't drink every day, but when I drank, I would drink up to 60 beers in a night sort of thing, spanning into the next morning, and then go to work the next day somehow. A lot of mornings I'd wake up covered in my own urine from just completely blacking out. I just remember looking in the mirror one day and just going, what the fuck are you doing, bro? And when I said that, I wasn't saying it as a rhetorical question. I was like, literally, what is going on? Like, why is your life so chaotic and so fucked up? I actually got a response, and the response was, you're a loser. Yeah, it was really hard to hear that and admit that to myself and realize that, fuck, I'm a loser. And I remember thinking to myself in that moment, okay, well, shit, you've only got 2 choices to make here. You're either gonna kill yourself or you're gonna sort your shit out. And the number one thing I did, I still had a 6-pack of beer in the fridge. I think there was actually 8. I made a video of me pouring the beers down the drain and saying, that's it, I'm not drinking ever again. And I haven't had a drink since. And I've already said it, but I'll say it again. It was literally the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. Not to say that life isn't still challenging, but I have found ways to cope with that by admitting to myself that I have a problem with anger and I have a problem with my emotions, and by quitting alcohol and making room for growth. So after I quit alcohol, quit my job and lived in my car for the next year. I then upgraded to a tent and lived in the tent for about 6 months. I remember there was a time there where I literally could not afford a loaf of bread, and it was the most happiest, freeing experience of my life. I had nowhere to be, time didn't exist. It was just incredible. Like, for me personally, my ultimate goal is peace. I just want to be peaceful, man. And honestly, I'm not there yet, I am not completely peaceful, but I'm on the path, I'm on the journey, and I'm definitely a lot more peaceful than I ever have been. Anyway, getting back to the emotions and the anger. It's quite warm here, but in winter it gets pretty cold. And if I have a cold shower in winter, it's intense, man. Like, it's stressful. And if I can be in that cold shower, in that uncomfortable state, it really helps me for the rest of the day. It helps when someone cuts me off in traffic. I had a situation the other day where I didn't get cut off, but a guy was right up my ass. And I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what the fuck you doing, bro? He pulled up alongside me. I wound my window down and he wound his window down, and basically just started yelling at me saying, you're going too slow through the tunnel. That's so dangerous. You caused chaos back there. And I looked back and there was like no one even there. In that moment, I literally stayed silent. The old me literally would have jumped out of the car and just started kicking his fucking door in or kicking his head in. I actually created a technique called SIT. It's an acronym, S-I-T, and it stands for stay silent, it isn't personal, and take a breath. If you can do that in an intense situation, it will significantly reduce your anxiety and give you back a lot more control, because no one wants to lose control. So next time someone tries to piss you off, just sit there and look at them. It's not personal unless you decide it's personal. When I say take a breath, I'm talking about diaphragmatic breathing. Take a big, deep breath, lower belly, hold. If you just did that, it's almost like a drug. It's seriously one of the most powerful things you can do. Take a breath, hold it, breathe out, and I guarantee you will feel so much better. Thanks for watching my video. I really appreciate you sticking around. If you'd like to support my channel, please like the video and subscribe for more videos like this.